What's up, y'all? It's your boy Hawthorne. I'm back. So what I got for you guys today is a night vision camera by Daleyzay. So this is a night vision camera. It's not necessarily confused with some night vision goggles, which I'll explain to you later on. But yeah, this is by Daleyzay. So a couple of things I want to start off with. One, I got this item via Amazon Vine. Amazon Vine has a different, they choose different customers to get products, and then what they'll do is they'll send you the products and you have to review the products. That means I work through Amazon, not necessarily through the brand. I get to go on this site and choose what items I want. This is just one of the items I saw and I was like, hey, I want to try this. And then I have to leave a review. So the brand didn't pay me to give you this review, and this review is my honest opinion. Also, you know, this is again night vision goggles by, night vision camera by a company called Daleyzay. I don't even know if I'm even saying that right. Sometimes the reviews, I'm reviewing a product, and it may not be necessarily to recommend or not recommend the actual brand or for the brand, but reviewing some of these different items and telling you the things that I see wrong with it or right with it will help you at least understand what to look for if you're looking for a similar item. And this is probably the case of what this is going to turn into. I don't think that Daleyzay is probably a big name in night vision cameras. I'm assuming they're probably not. But at least by me reviewing this, it'll give you a few things to pay attention to and look for while you're actually looking for night vision camera, if you are looking for a night vision camera. All right, so night vision camera Daleyzay. Let me tell you, when I first saw this on Amazon Vine, I was like, yes, I need that. You know, as a person who owns multiple cameras, you know, I got the camera that I'm filming on. I got another professional camera. I got multiple, you know, mirrorless and non-mirrorless lenses, full frame lenses. I got, you know, I guess I can say GoPro. I will say GoPro. And I also have an underwater drone. So night vision camera is like, hey, that's just the top of the line. Let's do it. I was like, I'm going to use it for when I go hunting, to get into my tree stand, get out of my tree stand, go find my deer, to use it when I'm, you know, sitting on the deck, use it for like, you know, looking at owls or different bats or anything at night, you know, just having it for when I, you know, want to mess around, walk around the house in the dark and scare the hell out of my girlfriend. Just kidding, baby. I would never do that. Never. But, so after I got this and took it out the box, I realized I ain't gonna be doing none of those things. And I'll tell you why a little bit later. But first, let me tell you about this product. So as I said, it is a camera, not necessarily confused with night vision goggles. It is, first off, very lightweight. You can see it has two lenses on the front. This one right here is the optical lens. This is the IR lens. You know, the optical lens does supposed to have up to 8 times digital zoom and 10 times optical zoom. We'll talk about that a little later. But in terms of rotating this is your optical zoom. And then, you know, if you want to increase or zoom in or zoom out your IR, there are 2 buttons at the top, which is very simplistic in design. You know, increasing your IR makes it go wider and further, so you can see a lot further, which means items up close are going to be a lot brighter at night. Things further away will start to light up a little bit more as you go out. And then I think it has 7 levels of increased IR. And then as you come down in IR, things further away are going to be a little bit darker. Things that are closer to you are going to still be bright, as you can see. It has mode. This allows you to shoot photos at 36 megabytes, or, you know, camera up to 4K. And then you have your button that allows you to, you know, do your shoot your camera or shoot the video. The mode also allows you to go to playback, so you can play back your video within the camera here itself. There's this, I don't know what the N stands for. It's EN, but what I've seen from this setting is that it just sends you back from wherever you are, if you're in 4K or if you're in 36 megapixel photo mode. If you hit this button, it'll send you back to 480p. You know, I guess from a video standpoint, you could go all the way down to 480p and increase your way up to 4K. Again, not quite sure why you would do that. You know, unless you're trying to save camera battery. But you know, 4K would seem to be the way to use this. There's also this button right here. I don't know, it has a star in it with the box in it. What I've seen from that is that it could take you into the red channel or the green channel, or you know, you stay in your regular, back to your regular channel. I'll tell you why a little bit later and show you in a video why I don't know if that's really necessary. Probably just a gadget, but it doesn't really work very well. And then you have your menu button at the top here. The menu, there's a few things you could change in the menu. You know, obviously you have 4K video, you could change the resolution of your video. You can also change the frame rate of the video, whether you want 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, up to 30 frames per second. Again, one of those things where I'm not sure why you would want to go lower, unless you're trying to conserve battery or conserve card space. But at this type of camera, I don't think you would really want to go lower, because you're going to use a lot of definition, and it's really not good enough to be at that low of a setting. And then you got your power button. You have a nice, they say 4.5-inch LCD here, which should be great so you could take a look and see what's on your camera. But I'll also show you in a few seconds why that may be an issue. So quickly, easy to turn it on. You know, it's very simple with a two-hand control, right? To turn it on, you could just, you know, long press. You have to actually long press it for a few seconds, and then you can see that it starts to come on. The good news with this is that it's night vision, but you can also still use it in the daytime as well, or low light. I'm gonna try to see if I can get my face somehow into this camera. As you can see, it's quite zoomed in there. You can see my eye, right? So that's my eye. And then I'm gonna show you this optical zoom is really more of a focus button. I'm gonna assume that if you want to do any kind of real zoom, let's get the focus in here. You can see it's focusing out, focusing in, and then you can see my eye is getting a little bit sharper. Let me just pull it back. There you go. See how that's a little bit better. And like I say, in and out. I don't realize that this isn't actually zooming. It's really just zooming in and out the focus. I have to see if it's in the mode somewhere that you could actually adjust this actual zoom. But right now, it doesn't quite look like this is actually working on zoom in itself, right? And as you can see, this is actually in color. You know, the one good news is that you can do some settings in the light before you go into the dark. Although once you go into the dark, you can still see it pretty clearly. So as I said, I'm sorry, before I go into that, it does come with a 32GB card. The card slot is at the bottom, along with a USB-C type cord that you can use for charging, as well as I believe you could transfer files to the computer. Don't quote me on that one. I haven't tried it. I would probably just use the mini USB. The mini SD card. The other thing that it has is that it does have a mount on it, so that you could use it for put into a tripod and a monopod, or even if you can, a gimbal, which is probably what I would recommend for this. And you know. One last thing, a feature I show you, you may not be able to see here in the light, is that these buttons do have the ability to light up a very light blue, which is okay. You can use that at night if you want to, and it's not very bright. It's just enough that you can see if you're up close. So why I say that you won't be using any of those features, you won't be using this, why you won't be doing all the things that I said you will be doing, right? So the main reason is these are not actual goggles. It is not contoured to your face. This is a hard rubber. I mean, it does move, but it's not a soft. Basically, it is designed for you to hold it out here. And now you can imagine, now you're trying to hold a camera out here at night with two hands on it. Maybe you could do one hand, but most likely you end up having two hands on it. And as you're walking around, you're not going to be walking around like this, trying to see what you're trying to see. You're more likely to have it around your neck, trying to walk at a night or a low light at least. to see what's out there, and then trying to photograph it. And if it's at night, then you can't really see very well. So obviously, trying to use this for out here to work and guide yourself is going to be very tough. The other thing is, you're probably going to want this on a monopod or a tripod, probably because this doesn't have image stabilization. Now, I know I have a lot of professional cameras, so for me, I'm used to image stabilization. But in this case, if you now have to hold this out here, understand that you're breathing, you're going to have a little bit of shake. And then even to hold out here for a long time, regardless of how still and how light this is, you're going to have some camera shake. And so your video is going to be a lot rough. And at this price point, you wouldn't expect it to have image stabilization. This is probably more of a novelty item than any kind of a real professional, real item. This is probably best for if you already know where something is at and you want to sit on your deck and have it and, already start shooting, or you just want to see something out there. Let's say you're trying to look at an owl that you know is already out there. Or if I'm sitting on the deck at night, which I don't normally do, but sitting on the deck at night looking into the woods, and you just want to see if any animals are walking through without why you don't have any lights on. Again, something that I thought I might do, I'm really not going to do it, especially not in the cold weather. So with that, now that I show you how it works, told you a bit about it, told you one of the major flaws on it, let's get to some video. Okay, taking a look at some video. Let's see what we got here. This is the daytime video. This is around 4:30, just before sunset, and the frame rates here is 4K at 30 frames per second. And let's just take a look and see what we got.
A little bit brighter than normal eyesight. So it works pretty good today. You can see a lot of color. As we go up higher and higher, it gets a little bit, contrasty, I guess, because of the light of the sky.
Okay, so let's just call that what it is. That is not good. The video is very choppy. It's not very continuous. It looks pretty bad quality. It's just not good quality. I was surprised. I didn't think this thing had sound at first, but it does have sound. The sound wasn't all that bad, although quite quiet and muffled. Could have been better, but I mean, again, for this price range, I guess I'm not expecting much more, but that video quality is pretty bad for it to be claiming 4K. So now let's take a look at some nighttime video.
Alright, so here's some video at night, trying to look outdoors in my sunroom, right? This is what I did earlier during the day. You can see I'm looking outside. You can see there's a few lights. Let's see if I can get some focus in there. So you can see where we are. You can see how dark it is. This is around 6:30 at night. This is the regular daytime. So now let me put on the first bit of IR. Boom. You can see.
So if you couldn't hear what I was saying on the nighttime video, I was trying to speak, but it was actually quite low, and it was really quiet out, so I didn't want to speak too loud. But when you're indoors and you're trying to look, use the camera, the IR light is so bright that it bounces off of surfaces. So trying to look out through the window is nearly impossible because you get a lot of glare off the window. Also looking, at any kind of panels or anything kind of wood or anything else, it was quite bright indoors. So I actually had to open up my window and look out the window, in which case it got a little bit better when you look off into the distance, but the IR on the lowest setting was quite bright. It left quite of a big bright IR marking, like almost like a flashlight, as it was shining into the woods. And then once you went into settings number 2, it got extremely bright. Like it was almost impossible to see anything. And I even tried to go to IR3, and there's no way to use IR3. I guess if you want to look out for something way out in the distance, but you're not gonna be able to even see out that far. And the IR is so bright that everything up close was just not good at all. And then the other aspect that I try to use is I try to look at the green and the red spectrum lights, and they were just so, I want to say, superficial. that it just didn't seem to provide any value whatsoever. Again, this is a very low price camera. So, and something this low price, the quality isn't really expected to be all that great. And even at night, yeah, because you can still see it's still kind of choppy. But for a camera for this, low of a price range, this is meant to be a novelty type item. I wouldn't expect to film anything good in this, but more of a, hey, let me take a look out the window and take a look on the deck or something like that to see what's happening, because your filming is going to be pretty bad. There's probably better things on the market than this. While I'm at it, let me see if I could pull up a picture and see if the pictures are any better. And so looking at the pictures, this is a picture. You can see that it's extremely pixelated, not very good quality. Again, it's just, this isn't a good camera at all. This, to be honest with you, if you're looking for quality, obviously you pay a lot more money for it, pay a lot more attention to it. Get a more expensive camera, get a real, actual night vision camera that's going to cost you a lot more money than this. Overall, like I said, this isn't a really good camera. It's a very novelty type thing. Probably something that if you want to see how you feel about it, use it once or twice just to see if it's something that you want to go before you get something more expensive. That'd be good. But for anything, if you want to, let's say you're out at night and you want to see if that's a deer out there, that's an 8.9 pointer, or sorry, 8 pointer, 6 pointer, whatever it may be, that may be a good idea to take this out and take a look at it. I would say a trail cam, but you're not going to leave it up as a trail cam. Video, photos, it's not going to be anything good for you to use for anything other than just to show yourself. So yeah, this is, I can't think of any real major use for it other than those type of uses. So that's it. Again, if there's any questions, feel free to leave something down in the messages or press that subscribe button. Thanks a lot. Bye.